He's struggling with that. That's the reason as to why he's not here, because he's struggling to come to terms with the reality that Vini is the guy at Real Madrid and that he's not.
Since you mentioned Mbappe's struggles with Real Madrid, why don't we take a look at the La Liga table. Real Madrid second right now, 6 points back of Barcelona, though they do have a game in hand on the league leaders. There are reports out of Spain from Diario AS that the Real Madrid hierarchy have doubts about Carlo Ancelotti and that he could be replaced in the coming weeks. They're identifying a key match coming up in the Champions League against Liverpool as decisive. The report also suggests that Xabi Alonso would eventually take over. He'd finish the season at Bayer Leverkusen, but that a name familiar to Liga MX fans, Santiago Solari, would take over on an interim basis. Jules, how seriously should we take this report that Real Madrid are considering parting ways with Carlo Ancelotti?
I mean, usually when those kind of news are written, whether it's in Marca or Diario AS, it's never by coincidence. It's very often somebody at the top of the club who has relays in those newspapers who are pro-Madridista, of course, just relaying some stories, just putting some things out there. So I've got no doubt that this is certainly some of the thinking at the top of the club right now. That doesn't mean it's definite and that Carlo will be sacked anytime soon. It's just, hey, let's put a bit of pressure on him because we didn't like what we saw in the Clasico. We didn't like the first half against Borussia Dortmund. We didn't like the game against AC Milan. And that starts to be a lot. And you said they're potentially only 3 points behind Barcelona now. So it's not a bad start of the season because some of the results have been there, but some of the performances have been poor. Some of the performances have come in patches. Just 10 good minutes there, 20 good minutes there, 30 good minutes there, but 45 minutes bad there, an hour bad there. So this is something that they need to sort out. And also, to make the Kylian project work or to make this Galactico team work, which Carlo so far has struggled to do. So for me, it's a bit more like let's put some pressure on him more than really his position being under threat, because I would still find it hard that they get rid of him in the next few weeks.
Ale, is the pressure warranted? Like Jules said, win that game in hand, you're 3 points back of Barcelona.
Yeah, the standard is different for Real Madrid. You would also think that the standard would be different for Carlo Ancelotti, given his success at Real Madrid. But as I just mentioned, I'll go back to 30 seconds ago, the standard is different at Real Madrid. It would be incredibly unfair and unwarranted to just usher Carlo Ancelotti out the back door, given not only the success that he has had with this club, given the fact that he had a team in place, a team ready-made that had been the European champion, yeah? That had won La Liga. And in comes Kylian Mbappe, and now he's having to reshuffle parts. And while he's trying to reshuffle parts, then there are season-ending injuries going on left and right. And then the multitude of injuries that continue to happen, and he's having to juggle all of this on the run while it is the highest of profiles of team in Real Madrid. And it's difficult to do. It's not easy. And as much as I would think that Santi Solari would be a different voice, or whoever it may be, it's not easy to come in there and try to resolve a problem that Carlo Ancelotti couldn't resolve himself. I think it would be very short-sighted from Real Madrid to make this sort of decision at this point of the season.
And